Got the little backup over here. We live. Oh, there it is. Okay. So we are good to go. All right. So I don't want to waste anyone's time or energy because I have too much respect for you all and too much respect for myself to do that. So let's talk about it. Make your layups. Make your layups. What am I talking about? Make your layups. So, if you've ever hung out with me at all, I'm an athlete and, uh, especially a hooper. And so I'm always going to make sports references, basketball references, and such. And so this is obviously, I'm talking about basketball. A layup, if you're unfamiliar, is basically a shot where you're right at the basket, just dropping it in. As easy and as simple a shot you can get in basketball, right? And so when I think about that, it's language that I use in my life. I use it as I'm processing things myself, and I use it with my children, and I use it with the people that I work with as well, right? It's just a part of my language now. And so when I say that something is easy or simple, I'll say, "Oh man, that's a layup." Oh yeah, that's a layup. Or when I'm dealing with the children, and I'm giving them instructions and I'm telling them, I'm helping them to navigate situations and I'm giving them advice or I'm giving them insight or I'm offering them perspective on how to look at something. And I'll often say something like, "Oh man, that's a layup." That's literally how I use that as a form of encouragement, right? Because what I'm saying is, "Oh, that's you can handle it. Oh, that's too easy." Right? I'm saying like that's a layup. That's easy. You got that. And what I always tell them is concentrate on making your layups. Pardon me. Get really good, really great at making your layups. Mina, thanks for tapping in. Get really, really, really good at making your layups. You can literally, if you get good at making your layups, you can have an amazing life. You can create something amazing for yourself. So what does that look like? What does that mean? Let's think about it. Layups, think about an athlete. Think about the things that they have to do. Think about the things they have to do consistently over and over and over and over. Think about the easy things they have to do. Think about a musician. How many times do you think someone rehearses that song over and over and over? How many times do you think they've heard that song before it gets to us? They've probably heard it 1,000 times. They probably know it inside out. And I'm talking about the people who actually care, right? I'm talking about the people who actually do the thing for real, right? They've done it over and over. And so what happens is things that were once difficult, or things that may even be difficult, or things that are important, are really just a bunch of simple things built on top of one another, right? Difficult things are really just a bunch of simple things built on top of one another. Think about it like this. If I put a math problem on this wall, and it's 30 feet, a 30-foot math problem, and it's all these symbols and letters and all the things. I don't even know none of that stuff, right? How do you do that? How do you solve that problem? There's some rules, and you do it one step at a time, one simple step at a time. There's some addition, there's some subtraction, some multiplication, some division. There's some basics that have to be done over and over. Whatever you do at your job, right? You're a professional at something. There are some tasks that you have to do over and over and over. And there are some tasks that right now you can probably do in your sleep that when you first started at the job, they were brand new to you. But because you do them over and over and over and over, you become really, really good at them. You become professional at them. You find better ways to do them, and you can do them really, 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 really well because you do them over, because of the repetition, right? And so, exactly. And so this is we're gonna get somewhere, I promise. So when I say make your layups, see, a lot of times in life, we hyper focus on the size of the thing, or we feel like we don't give enough energy or attention. We're not focused in enough on the simple, small tasks. We take too many of those things for granted, not realizing that anything that we do is what? Even something that we consider difficult, even something that we consider big, is what? It's just a collection of a bunch of small tasks. If you climb a mountain, yes, we're going to celebrate because you're at the top of the mountain. You're going to plant your flag. We're going to snap some pictures and we're going to celebrate. But how did you get there? One step at a time. And those steps are just layups. Those steps are just simple steps along the way. Yes, repetitive, right? And sometimes repetition can be boring, right? That sometimes repetition isn't exciting, and that's where we kind of, or we disrespect those little things because our eyes are on the big things, and so we take those little things for granted again because we don't quite understand that it's those little things that the big thing is just it's just a whole bunch of the little things put together, right? This book is just what? It's a bunch of words that I put together, but all together it's a book. But what is it? It's a bunch of words. So each word matters. And when you put the energy and the attention into each of the words, then you come up with the, right? So think about that. Why do I use that language, make your layups, make your layups? Because the seeds that I'm planting, right? And the way that I'm processing through things is I'm thinking about it in this manner, right? If I get really good at making my layups, if I remember to always respect each step along the way, I'll never lose my way. So just think about, how do I want to say this, right? I got so much I want to say, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let me kind of back up. Okay, I was having a conversation with my son, right? We have these really great conversations. It's so funny because they're so informed, right? And if we shut up and listen, we can learn so much. I believe that about anyone I come in contact with, but young people, I'm telling you, because again, they have so much information. They're so much more informed than we were at their age, heck, than we are at this age. So we can learn some things from them. So I love having those conversations. And I listen and I listen and I listen. And every opportunity that I listen so that I can understand who I'm talking to. And I can understand what moves him and I can understand what's important so that, of course, that builds our relationship, but also in my role as the leader, in my role as the seed planter, in my role as the one who's quietly guiding his path, right? I want to plant the right seeds because, again, I want to make the right investments so that we can get the right return on those investments. And so I'm having conversations with him and we're talking about career choices in life and, you know, what the next level looks like. And I'm daring him to dream bigger because a lot of the conversation around next level, he's 17, around his next level and what he wants to do with his life, it's okay, right? But I'm like, okay, that's cool and all, but what does 10 times that look like? Because there's absolutely nothing stopping you from becoming the best in the world at something or from creating something ginormous, right? So let's think bigger, let's move bigger, let's build bigger, right? Let's have a different attitude. And so, but what I understand is the value of the basics. And so even with him, I'm always talking about making your layups. I'm always talking about the small things. And so now what I'm big on is I'm planting seeds and I'm encouraging him to build up his belief system. Right. And one of the first things I'm drilling into him is the belief in his superpowers. Right. His superpowers. Yes. So I believe that, and matter of fact, before I even go forward, because we're about to turn the corner, yada, yada, yada. Each collective action or task accomplishes and then go exactly. So that means each action and task is important. Each step, it's not just the mountaintop that's important. Each step along the way is valuable. Absolutely. All right. So let's stay up. So superpowers. So right now, what I want him to understand. So I believe that we all have some superpowers that we were gifted when we showed up. One of them is the power of focus, right? The power of focus. So I'm teaching him, right? I'm teaching him the power of focus, but not by saying, giving him the definition of focus and telling him that he needs to focus. No, 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 no. By giving him tasks and talking to him about stick to itness, right? About seeing things through, about blocking out distractions, about lasering in on a thing, and the difference, the experiences from when you're lasered in on a thing versus when you're trying to do 17 things at once. Because I don't really believe in multitasking. We can have that conversation later, right? So, and getting him to understand, how much different 30 minutes of concentration versus 3 hours of distracted focus, right? Getting him to understand that and see the value in that. So I'm challenging him to do certain things because I want him to feel it and experience it for himself so that he can then adopt that belief, so that he can know that, okay, I have the ability to, I can lock in and do this. I can, right? I want him to know that that's a gift that he has. And I want him to see, that's another thing that we talk about, is that when you focus on what you focus on is what you feel. And so when he's having a certain experience, I ask him questions about it. And through the answers of the questions, right, I can see what part of the situation his attention is locked in on. And so when I have him zoom out, because a part of the power of focus is being able to zoom in and zoom out and look at things from different perspectives and then consciously decide what to focus on, right? And so in that process, I'm showing him that, a book is a book is a book, right? It's just a book. But when you decide if he wants to focus on the picture, on the logo, and then you zoom in on that, or if he wants to decide on this side of the face, or zoom in here, or zoom in on the hoodie, or zoom in on the string. Like, there's so much going on in the world, and we get to choose where to direct where we choose to direct our attention is going to impact how we feel. It's going to impact how we experience the situation. Stay with me. I promise we're going somewhere. So we're talking about that power of focus, right? And that's something that that's a belief. I hope you guys caught that. That's a belief that I'm encouraging him to develop through, not just through words, but through showing him through different experiences like, okay, this happened and I was concentrating on this. But now that you say it, when I looked at this same situation, but you're right. I was only looking at the thumb, but then I thought about it. And I looked at this part, and the whole experience changed. Well, it's still my hand, right? But if you're only looking here, there's a whole situation. And so he's grasping that lesson, right? So that's one of the superpowers, right? And the second one is decisions. So we got the power of focus, and we have the power of decisions, right? The power of decisions. What do you mean? We are the sum total of our decisions. Every choice we make matters. Every choice we make matters. And what we're doing and what I've been doing with him is showing him the impact of his decisions, big and small. Showing him the impact of his choices, showing him what happens when he forgets to do ... right? If he overlooks ... If I ask him to start to put something in the dryer for me and he forgets, now I have to come home and then I have to rewash the blanket, right? And then and now when and again, see, I'm simple things, but planting that seed, showing him that, wow, okay, my decisions matter. And I don't want him walking around being a nervous wreck, right? But I do want him to understand that his choices matter and that he's literally creating his reality based on the choices that he's making. So if I am the sum total of my decisions and I'm literally creating my reality based on the decisions that I make, perhaps this is something that I need to get good at. This is something that I need to get good at, right? So focus, so decisions, and then communication, right? Not only verbal communication, nonverbal communication. We talk about energy. We talking about, what your body language says, what your facial expressions say, the way you use your voice, pardon me, the way you move, the way you dress, your personal hygiene, how you engage and interact with other people. All of those things matter, and they tell a story. And so when you understand that, wow, wait a minute, okay, the way you speak matters, the way you listen matters, the way you stand matters, the way you walk matters, the way you talk matters, the way you interact with, and there are things that you can do to set yourself apart, right? There are things that you can do to position yourself as a master communicator. And so, so I see that, right? So simple things, right? To your point, yeah versus yes. Versus yes. I say thank you. He said, or no problem versus you're welcome. Same energy you're putting out. Pardon me. You're just saying, when I say same energy, the price you're paying is the same. You know what I mean? Like one word, two words, but there's such a big difference. That didn't come out the way I needed it to come out, but you understand what I'm saying, right? You're saying, oh, no problem, or oh, thank you, thank you, you're welcome. Oh, that's a totally different, you get what I'm saying? So even in that, right, we're talking about communicating, and then like the messages that you're sending, even the way you dress. And the way that I use that is really good because, he's quick to point out other people what they have going on, and he's quick to identify what other people are communicating via the way they're dressed, via the way they speak, via the way they move. And so if you can see that in other people and you can value it when you think it's excellent, and you can talk trash about it when you think it sucks, then you understand the power therein. And so now there's a responsibility that I'm putting on you to be mindful, to be aware, to focus on how you communicate, to make quality decisions in your communication. So those three. And then the last one is imagination. And not the last one, like only one, but I believe these four, if we master these four, we can win at anything in life. And so the last one is our imagination. See, a lot of us, the biggest issue that we have is that we misuse our imagination. We use our imagination as a tool, as something to beat ourselves over the head. How often do you get caught up thinking about doom and gloom? How often do you get caught up in all the reasons why something can't work? How often are you imagining yourself losing versus imagining yourself winning, versus imagining all the ways it can go right, versus imagining all of you get what I'm saying? And so proper use of our imagination. So when we have conversations, I listen, right? And we're talking about certain things, and I listen to him articulate the story that's going on in his head. And then it's like, well, I hear you. Well, if you can paint that picture, get your little brush, and you can also paint a different picture. Because you're painting that picture because you're choosing that photo. And I show them how these things are all interconnected, right? So why am I saying all that, right? Because I want us to understand the value of the simple things, the value of the basics things. Pardon me. That's why I said we have to make our layups. If we slow down a bit and we learn to be present in the moment, my favorite quote, above all else, be present, and we learn to be here, then we can focus on, right, the things that we want to feel. I don't think about things that don't matter to me. I don't think about things that I don't want. I don't concentrate my energy on things that aren't important to me or that I don't want to invite into my life. And then as I'm doing that, right, when I tap in, you see what I'm saying? So as I put those superpowers into use, and they're all interconnected. And so, but they're all very, very simple, and they're all happening anyway. That's the key. See, they're all happening anyway. Right now, you're choosing what to focus on. Maybe not consciously, but everyone is having a different experience right now. Someone is like, I wish he stops moving his hands like that. Someone sees these strings. They're trying to figure out what's going on with that. Someone, they're tripping about this. They're trying to figure out what that says. Someone is looking at the logo. Someone else is in love with Jimmy. Someone's trying to see the books and stuff on the table. Someone is struggling with my list and they just can't get past my list because their grandpa has a list and what am I doing talking up here with this list? But whatever the thing might be, right? So the point is, at every moment, we have to decide what to focus on and then what it means and then what we're going to do. And we're doing it anyway. And so the seeds that I plant, the way that I approach the world and the way that pardon me, in the way that I help people that I'm connected to right now, we're talking about the children, but it's applicable to all of us. These things are happening anyway. You're focusing anyway on something, right? You're making decisions every moment anyway. You're communicating anyway. You're using your imagination anyway. So since these are gifts, superpowers, if we take responsibility for how we use them and we get really good at it, we literally create a beautiful situation and we can live in a beautiful state. One of the things you all often hear me say is, any state that I'm in, I choose it. The weather doesn't make me feel ... My wife doesn't make me feel ... You all can't make me feel ... My team winning or losing doesn't make me ... How I feel physically doesn't make me that I choose whatever state that I'm in. So when I'm up, I chose that. If I'm relaxing, I chose that, right? I choose every state that I'm in. How? Through focus, decisions, communication, and imagination. So the importance of each step along the way is more important than because we don't get without the, right? We never get the thing. That's okay. That's okay. If you're confused, what are you confused? Ask the question. I'm confused is not a question. So anyway, we're talking about the value of each step along the way. We're talking about building. We're talking about the importance of doing the simple things. We're talking about how everything that is big or complicated or whatever it might be is made up of a bunch of simple things. So what might look big and might seem to be too much or may seem to be complicated or may seem to be overwhelming is really just made up of a bunch of small things put together. And we're talking about the value of those things. Mina, you listen, you got it. You must have been with us overanalyzing. Exactly. Not focused on the importance. Exactly. So you're right. All of those things. Exactly. Joe said the power of awareness. Exactly. Awareness is something that I talk about all the time. That goes into my favorite quote, right? Above all else, be present. Above all else, be present. Because the big problem that most of us have is that yesterday and tomorrow are robbing us of our right now. So what happened yesterday and the stories you're telling yourself about yesterday, they're consuming you, and then you're anxious about tomorrow, and then that's consuming us, and then we're not in the moment and we're not focused on the right things, and so we're not making quality decisions, and then we stay stuck in that cycle. So I said all that to say, those are some of the beliefs that we're planting in him, right? Other things are like work ethic. I want him to see and appreciate and understand the value of putting in effort, the value of work ethic, the value of, starting something and seeing it all the way through and to finish, right? The value of going a step or two further to make some things happen for himself, not settling for just what's on the surface, not settling for what people just give, not settling for, right? Not settling for, but thinking about, wow, if I really want this, then it's going to require, right? I have to be willing to put in the work necessary. And sometimes that's not clearly outlined, right? Sometimes that's not clearly outlined. Or sometimes you think it is until you get into it. They say, well, I want to be a doctor. Cool. You go to undergrad, you major in these particular skills because you're going to need these foundational things. And then you have to, you take your MCAT, you get a good score, you get into medical school, right? Whatever that process is. And then you start. And, if you go full time during the day, 4 years and you graduate and you're Dr. Somebody. That is not the story because that sounds really simple, but until you get into it, but once you make the commitment and you see like, oh, but if I value work ethic and I understand the value of putting in effort and I understand that I can have anything that I desire if I'm willing to put in the work, right? And the work is what? These small things. The work is a bunch of layups put together. The work is a bunch of simple steps woven together. That's the work. And so really, really planting those seeds and really understanding that, right? Really, here's another one. Understanding that, and again, this is about making your layups. This is about making life simple, right? Here's another one. Using your tools. What do you mean? Using your tools. So many of us, we're going through life, we run into tests, trials, and challenges, and we have the tools. We have the tools to fix the problem that we're facing. We have the tools. We have them in us, or we have access to them. We have the people, places, and things. We have the experiences. We have it already. But we won't tap in. We won't utilize those things when it's us. That's why I always talk about the best friend test. That's why I always say, okay, think about what advice would you give your best friend? What advice would you give someone you care about? What advice would you give your child if they told you they were struggling with this situation? Because then magically we pull out all the tools. We remember the people, places, things, and experiences that we have and that we're connected to that can help us overcome this particular situation. But when I'm going through it, poof, I somehow forget everything. So understanding that having that as a part of your belief system, that I use my tools, believing that everything is figure outable, and believing that I have access to the people, places, things, and experiences to fix this. I've seen something similar to this before. And if the worst case is, I have to reach out. I have to make a connection. Who do I know that could help me navigate this situation? Right? Who do I know that's well-versed in this? And because of the internet, that's a layup. That's easy. Even that's a layup. Finding the help you need this day and age is a layup. So why all of this? Right? Why am I saying all this? And thanks for helping me to unpack this, right? Because I don't think we really understand the value of the simple things. You ever notice when people are giving you advice, it's generally the same handful of things? You ever notice that? Be consistent, stay focused, set goals, set bigger goals, monitor your circle, be around people who fit your future, not your past. There's a handful of things, pieces of advice that you're going to get, right? Or any advice that you get is going to be rooted, it's going to be grounded in those very simple things. But most of us won't access those things. Most of us won't tap in. Most of us won't do the work necessary. Most of us get amnesia when it's time to deal with life. And so when you have a mindset or a belief that I make my layups, I focus on the small things, I give them the respect that they deserve. What happens is you string together win on top of win on top of win on top of win. And that's a piece that I don't think we understand. When I make my layups all day, when I get up when the alarm goes off, that's a win. I don't snooze, and then go back to sleep and then don't make it to the gym. When I get up and do what I said I was going to do, that's a win. Go to the gym and have a great workout, that's a win. I come home, freshen up, start my day, do the things I need to do, the things that I said I was going to do. I'm adding value to my family, doing the things I need to do. That's a win. And these are simple things. These are things I know I need to do anyway. and I'm piling them up. And then whatever work I have to do, if I say I'm going to read X for X amount of time, I do that. That's a win. And then if I have a coaching call, I have that call and it goes really great. We unlock something, we help connect the dots, boom, then there's a win. And then the next thing, and that's a win. And then that's a win. And then I have a rule in my office that I leave it the way that I want to find it. So when I'm finished this evening, I'm not just going to turn off the iPad and leave. I'm going to lower my desk because it's a raised, I'm going to lower my desk. I'm going to take my other camera, unplug it, put it where it belongs. Right? I'm going to take the iPad, put it back in the iPad case, close all the apps, plug it in the charger. Right? I'm going to turn the lights off. I'm going to put my desk where it belongs. I'm going to put my handy dandy standing mat. I'm going to put that where it belongs. I'm going to scour the room a bit, put my water bottle in the trash because when I'm done, I always drown the rest of the water, throw that in the trash. I'm not going to just leave it there. I'm going to gather the things I need to gather. I'm going to take this off, right? And, I'm going to, sometimes I don't need to charge it. I charge it all day, right? But I'm going to take it off and I'm going to put this one and the other piece that's plugged into the iPad in the case. You get where I'm going? These little things matter, right? I'm going to make sure everything is in order. Then I'm going to go on about my business. And what I'm doing is I'm putting together wins. And then tomorrow morning when I come in here, it's the way that I need it to be. It's set up, and then that's another win. And that's another energy boost that I put that I install. And so I'm wondering, what are the things in your life that are easy, that are layups, that are opportunities for you to string together some wins that you're missing out on because maybe you're being dismissive of those things. Maybe you've never considered it in this manner. Maybe, whatever the case may be, but just think about your life. Think about the things that you're dismissive of, maybe because they are simple or easy or whatever the case may be. They're opportunities. They're opportunities to take your life to the next level. Every little step along the way, every layup matters. And just because it doesn't make Sports Center, that matters. Because if I miss the layup, that'll make Sports Center. But if I make the layup, it may not make Sports Center. So in your life, we have to understand that that's still valuable. That's still 2 points. That's a win. And that's building momentum. And then when you get to a point where you are tested, where you are challenged, where there is a big monster in front of you, you have the tool, you have the momentum to deal with it, to tackle it. But some of us, we're starting our mornings just wrong. We're oversleeping. We're snoozing 17 times. We're starting our morning opening up social media apps and flooding our brains with just stuff, right? We're not even giving ourselves a moment to exhale. We're not even starting our day giving thanks and being grateful, right? And again, I'm not demonizing jumping on social, because sometimes you could be jumping on social media to find something positive to tap into, and that's fine as well. But you get the point that I'm making, right? You get the point that I'm making. And so we have to stack up those wins. And then, because if you said you were going to do a thing, do that. And if you know this adds value, do it. If you know this takes from you, avoid doing that and build that up. So many of us, we're going into fights and we're unprepared. You ever see a boxer show up and he doesn't look like a fighter at all? Joker is just sloppy and out of shape and super winded after half the first round. And you're like, ew, like what the heck is that? Imagine your favorite athlete coming to the game just out of shape, just looking sloppy. And that's how we show up. That's how we show up in the world sometimes. Really? Yes. When we don't do the small things, how are we ever going to show up as the best version of ourselves? How are we ever going to show up and be ready to deal with when life punches us in the face? See, when I do get my punch in the face, I'm good. I'm ready to dance because I make my layups. And even when I miss my layup, I'm aware that I missed it. So I get the rebound and I put it back in, right? It bothers me. I notice that I missed it because I always concentrate my energy on making my layups. And then what happens is when I'm tested, I have momentum. I have positive motivation. because I'm moving along the way. And I see myself as the type of person who keeps his word to himself. That's what he said he was going to do, right? Makes his layups. And there's a level of confidence that comes from that. So many of us, I just don't have the confidence. I just don't. Well, that's because we won't concentrate on the little things. We won't invest in making our layups. And it's how do I want to say it? I'm gonna say it like this. This is how I'm gonna say it. And then I'm gonna look at the comments because I see them and I appreciate y'all. Trust me, I do. But I'm trying to find the language to drive this point home because I want you to just evaluate your life and just think about how many little things you just dismiss. And what you don't realize is that that's damaging your self-image. You're literally damaging your self-esteem. You're damaging your self-confidence by not doing the simple things, by not building up the momentum, by not stacking up those wins. So you're showing up and there's so much more of you that's available, but you're not tapping into that because I know we have a weird way of looking at things. And we're all guilty of it at times, right? But I'm really, really bullish on this. And I'm blessed to be able to work with people. And then, of course, I have a wife and children, and I have people that I pour into every day, myself first and foremost part of me. So I'm literally I'm a living experiment. And so I'm able to catch it. And then what's funny is, as you start to evaluate yourself, you'll see, oh man, you made a big deal out of something that wasn't a big deal. And when you zoom out and you think about it, oh, my energy was off. I was a little tired. I was this had happened, that had happened, this didn't happen, this had, I didn't show up as the best version of me. And then I mishandled a situation. I wasn't concentrating on the fundamentals. Right? I forgot about my superpowers. I focused on the wrong thing. I made a goofy decision. I communicated poorly, right? I used my imagination against myself. And at that point, game is pretty much over. I'm knocked on my behind now. Now I gotta fight so hard to get back up. When if I was more proactive with using my tools, if I was more proactive, right? If I was repeating those small things over and over, if I was concentrating my energy on getting really, really good at the basic fundamentals, then when those big things show up, it's nothing because this is what I do. I deal with things as they come. I'm good at these situations, right? Because it's muscle memory. That's what I was looking for right there. It's muscle memory at this point. Because this is just who I am and what I do. I take things seriously. I keep my word to myself. I move the way that I need to move. Uh-oh. I saw something pop up, but I missed it. I don't know who that was, but we'll come back to that. Let me see what I missed. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I gotta swipe over so I can see. Joe, appreciate you. Appreciate that for responding to Ken. I have to start my day right from the gate. Exactly. Eating too late the night before, not setting the alarm 15 minutes. Right. See, those little things, right? I have to start my day right from the gate. Exactly. Because if you don't, or those days you don't, you notice. And magically, that's the day that there's a traffic jam. Magically, that's the day Junior can't find his left shoe. Magically, that's the day that, right? You taking a sip of juice, you spill it on your nice fresh white shirt. And magically that, right? That it's funny. It's funny how that works. And you're right. Look, eating too late the night before, throwing off your sleep pattern, right? Whatever the case may be. However that impacts you negatively, right? Not setting the alarm 15 minutes. See, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Nina. Thank you. 15 minutes. She didn't say 2 hours. She didn't say 4 a.m. gang. She said 15 minutes earlier. There's so much value and power in that. 15 minutes. First of all, you have to know yourself. If you're not alarm goes off, woo, pop up excited person yet, if you haven't gotten there yet, that's okay. Maybe the 15 minutes is for you to crack your neck and, take a minute to exhale and maybe turn on a lamp and, Give give your brain time to, get the fuzz out, shake off the cobwebs and kind of exhale. Maybe that's just your time, right? To do what you need to do before you start engaging with the world, right? Before you start, waking up significant others and waking up children and doing this and preparing this and yada 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 yada. That 15 minutes, when I understood that, and it wasn't something I intentionally did or I consciously did, right? It was just a gift that God gave me. I used to wake up at 4:17 in the morning. And not because I was fancy. I literally would just wake up at 4:17. And most days I would go back to sleep. And then my mentor said, stay up. Just stay up. Huh? Okay. And I started doing things in the house. And it's like, oh, wait, it's peaceful. It's still dark out. It's quiet. Everyone's asleep. Okay. And I was tired the first few days, right? Because about 11 o'clock, noonish, just like, whoo, it started catching up with me. But then after that, I'm like, oh. And now the morning experience changed. And then those of you, I shared this story before, then I stumbled across that Kirk Franklin VHS, and I started playing that in the morning. And literally my house went from chaotic and negative and just goofy in the morning to fun and peaceful and just a warm energy. But it started because I just got up a little earlier, right? And 15 minutes, you don't have to be 4:17, which I was in for a very long season, but 15 minutes can literally change everything. Like it can literally set you up for an amazingly successful day. And then she said eating too late the night before, right? It's gonna take a little discipline. Right? Sometimes, okay. Sometimes like, man, look, I'm hungry. I want a little something. Maybe you do a little tiny something. Or maybe you're just dehydrated. You just need to drink some water and go to bed. But whatever the case may be, we need to do whatever we can to set ourselves up for success. And that's really the point that I want to make. Like, let's keep it simple. Focus on the simple, easy things, right? Focus on making your layups. Focus on the basic fundamental principles that you know are valuable, but you're often dismissive of. And when you hear things along the way, when you see someone say, set that alarm for 15 minutes earlier, give it a try. What's it cost you? 15 minutes of sleep? 15 minutes? Doesn't sound like much, but again, if you think about your morning routine, that 15 minutes, and if it's just you, or if it's 10 of you in the house, doesn't matter. It's still extremely valuable. And it does something for your psyche. It does something for your self-image. It builds your self-esteem. I'm going to wake up 15 minutes earlier, and I'm going to start my day giving thanks and from a place of gratitude. I'm going to put some good music in to set the mood, and I'm going to do these things to start my day. And then when you do it, you start to see yourself as like a rock star. Really? Yes. Anytime you keep your word to yourself, your image of yourself, your self-esteem gets a little bit healthier. Because you're seeing yourself as the type of person who, because what's your self-esteem? Your self-esteem is your reputation with yourself. And so if you keep your word, now you see yourself as a type of person who keeps their word. And then when you're making investments in yourself, you start to see yourself as a valuable person. Why? Because you have to believe you're valuable because look how you're treating you. So you're treating you like a valuable person. Oh, wow, really? Yes. So these little things, these little moments, what we don't realize is that we're constantly judging ourselves all day long. Every moment we're judging ourselves. And when we make a choice that goes against our integrity, because that's what it is, our thoughts, words, and actions being in alignment. So when we make a choice that's not in alignment with what we said or what we think, If I feel a particular way about a thing, or I don't feel a particular way about a thing, but I pretend that I'm looking at myself like, you clown, what you don't even, right? You ever be in a situation where maybe people are joking or picking on someone or something is happening and you don't really find it funny and actually you find it repulsive, but you laugh anyway because you don't want to be, you just want to, maybe be a cool kid. That goofy feeling you get, that's, and think about that, that happens all the time. Whenever you have a particular value, whenever you see something a particular way, whenever you think something and then you say something to the contrary, you're looking at you like, really? I thought you. Or whenever you declare, I'm going to do this, and then you don't do it, you're like, your reputation with you is just dipping. And then when it's time to do something, when it's time to take an action, when it's time to set a goal, that's why we struggle, right, to set goals, because we don't believe in ourselves. And that's something that we create every day with these little things. And so if you want to believe in yourself more, how do I do that? How do I build that belief in myself? Start keeping your word to yourself. Start walking and living in personal integrity. Make sure that your thoughts, words, and actions are in alignment. Miss Positivity, good evening. Focus on making sure that those things are in alignment, because you want to feel better about you. You want to experience you in a better light. There's certain people that walk in a room, right, that make you want to stand up a little taller. That just command your respect, not because they said so, simply because of by the way that they carry themselves. There are people in your life that you trust. Why do you trust them? Because they've proven themselves to be trustworthy. They're dependable. They show up. They're all reliable. And what's sad is the vast majority of us aren't dependable. We aren't dependable within ourselves. You can't depend on you. I went through a season like that. That's a goofy feeling. When you can't depend on you, when you speak a thing, right, but you don't even believe it. What's up, family? When you speak a thing, but you don't really, right? When you want to do something, but you can't muster up the energy to do it. Why? Because you have a goofy relationship with you, because you don't trust yourself. And well, how do we get there? And that sounds like this big, deep, woo-woo thing, but it's not. It's just simply make your layups. Simply keep your word to yourself. Simply do what you said you were going to do. Simply follow the advice that you've already been given. Simply use the tools that you already possess, right? We have to develop that healthy relationship with ourselves. And that sounds deep, and it sounds kind of like corny. But it's the best thing that you can do, is have a healthy relationship with you. Well, how do you develop that? The same way you develop a healthy relationship with me. Right? Be honest. Be dependable. Be trustworthy. Right? Keep your word. Right? Keep your promises. Right? Show up for yourself. Be kind to yourself. You know how many of us are just mean and nasty to ourselves? But it's because we have this bad reputation with ourselves and we don't trust ourselves. And so some of us, what happens is that grows into, I don't like myself. And then that grows into, I hate myself. All of that, yes. And so what I'm saying is to eliminate or alleviate or rid yourself of that. Well, how do you do that? That really don't. You just need to start loving yourself a little bit. Well, I don't know what that means or what that feels like. If I don't like myself or hate myself, how am I love myself? Self-love is being on your own side. How about that? Self-love is being on your own side, being team you. Self-love is treating yourself like someone you're responsible to care for. Think about that. Treating yourself like someone you're responsible to care for. You should be able to depend on yourself. Stop quitting on yourself. Exactly, but we do it all the time. And we don't do it in the form of I quit. We do it in the form of not keeping our word. We do it in the form of, right, not showing up for ourselves. We do it in so many different little ways, and it's always little things. It's not these big moments that ruin the relationship. Think about your regular relationships, right? If me and you are friends and some big thing happens, that's easier for us to navigate. Obviously, if it's not one of the just deal breaker type over the top things. Stay with me. But if something happens in my life, you're more understanding of this thing happening, or we can navigate that, but that's usually not the thing. It's the little fires. It's those little fires along the way. It's the fact that I'm always late. It's the fact that I never show up for you. It's the fact that I always say I'm gonna and then I don't. So it's the fact that I'm a liar and I'm not dependable. Right? It's those things. Right? It's those things that really ruin our relationship and shake up that trust. And so the same thing happens within yourself. When you don't keep your word to yourself, you don't trust yourself. How are you going to build? How are you going to build with someone you don't trust? And then that's why you don't show up for yourself. That's why you don't keep your word. That's why you don't invest in yourself. That's why you don't challenge the negative thoughts. Because why? Because you don't see yourself as valuable. And things spiral out of control, all because we don't take advantage of the simple things. We won't make the layups. If we make the layups that we get every day in life, we set ourselves up for success. We develop a healthier relationship with ourselves because, again, we see ourselves as the type of person who we see ourselves as dependable. We see ourselves as reliable. We see ourselves as trustworthy. And so how we experience us is totally different. And then our confidence develops, right? Because we believe, then confidence is simply, the willingness to try. Well, a lot of us are struggling with our self-confidence. We're unwilling to show up and try. Why? Because we have a goofy relationship with ourselves. Because we don't trust ourselves. If I go to the gym every day and shoot free throws and really, really practice, at the end of the game, when it's time to shoot free throws, that's what I do. It's muscle memory. That's it. She said distractions. It's connected with comparison. That's true. Distraction. Those things are all true. But what's under those things? What's at the root of those things? And what we talked about earlier was not understanding the power of focus, right? Focusing on the wrong things, to your point about distractions and comparison, right? So when we understand that what we focus on is what we feel, and when we really master the power of focus, we understand that if I focus on the things that add value to my life, if I focus on keeping my word to myself, if I focus on, right, monitoring the things that I allow in, if I focus on developing my gifts and talents, then I'm not worried about what Johnny is doing because I'm focused on building my gifts and talents. I'm focused on becoming the best version of me. And so I agree, you're right. So at the root of that is mastering the fundamentals. And like I said, making your layups. So if you find yourself constantly distracted, right, which there's 1,000,001 distractions right now, okay, great, join the club. But what are you going to do about it? If you say, man, I just be so distracted. Okay, well, what are you doing about it? What have you tried? And you look at me like I'm goofy? What does that say about your relationship with you? If you've identified a problem, come on, y'all. If you've identified a problem, if you've identified a challenge, and you can boldly say it, and then someone comes along like me who wants to help you, and I say, okay, well, what have you tried so far? Kind of bring me up to speed. Trust me, I understand the distraction thing. What are some of the things you've tried so far? And you just like, no, I said I was distracted. That's why I'm here. Coach, give me some. And I'm like, so you haven't. So that tells me right there that, we got to strengthen that relationship you have with yourself. Because if you ask me, I'm going to give you 99 things I've tried already. I'm going to say, man, let me tell you, I done deleted the apps. I can't power my phone off or put it on airplane mode because I got these young sons out here in these streets, so they need to have access to me. But I've tried these particular things. I've had the phone over there. I've done this. I've unplugged this. I've moved this. I've added this. I've subtracted this. I heard somebody talking about Trello. I've tried this. I've done this, right? I log out of this. I delete this. I go over here. I do this. And it's like, oh, okay. And now we can have a dialogue. But what that's telling you is that I care enough to try something. And then if you say, well, I didn't know what to do, and you have Google, YouTube, TikTok, all the things, and you haven't, then again, that says we have a lot of work to do. And it's okay. Like I'd rather you be honest and not just freestyle and make up something, right? I'd rather you be honest, but what it says is that we have a lot of work to do. Because think about it. If I really value my time and energy, and I see that certain things are distracting me, and I'm not, or maybe what you're doing is scheduling a call with me so we can figure it out. I can live with that too. I've just been distracted. Well, what have you done so far? I didn't know what to do, so that's why I called you. Okay, cool. Right? But at least you're aware that that's the thing, and then we can build on that. Right? Let's see. She said that. Exactly. Right? People will just, I'm distracted, and then just sit on the distractions. And it's like, no, we have to do something. But when we do that, what's the underlying thing there? There's an issue with my relationship with me. Because if it was someone that I cared for, if it was a child or a bestie or someone that I was responsible to take care of, or someone that I really cared about, then I would magically give them some ideas, or we would sit down and work on some things. I got an 11-year-old, and he has all the things, right? iPhone, iPad, Nintendo Switch, PS5, Xbox, whatever the newest Xbox, all the things. Let his work start slipping. What's the first thing we try to do? Cut the game off. Give me that iPad. Give me the phone. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, you're too distracted. You're too distracted to get your work done. Give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this. Oh, but we too cool to do that with ourselves. Because we don't, what's the difference? See, that says that there's a thing going on, right? That tells me that there's an issue there that we need to address. And that's okay, because that's the thing for most humans, right? But we can find it, but how do we remedy it? We remedy it by making it a habit to handle all the easy things, handle all the simple things, handle all the small things. So we have to change our relationship with the small things, because they matter in a big way. Because when we compile all of those things together, it literally formulates our identity. And so when I think about my identity, right, who am I? I'm a person that finishes things. I see things through. I show up for myself. I try. I'm willing to try different things. I'm willing to move a different way. I'm willing to invest in myself, right? I'm willing to make sacrifices. I'm willing to ask questions. I'm willing to put in the time. I'm willing to listen to advice, right? I'm willing to listen to someone. I'm willing to allow someone to critique me, and I listen intently because I'm truly interested in learning and becoming more. So if one of you says, hey, Reese, and as a matter of fact, I was watching back pieces of the video from last night, and I was sleepy. So shout out to y'all for hanging out with me. I'm saying I was tired, but I had to push through and do that anyway. But I was sitting down, so that tell you right there I was tired, because I like to stand. And I noticed when I was speaking, I was doing this a lot. I was and blah, 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 blah. But I don't even do what the heck was that? But now I said, okay, boom, I'm on it. So I'm looking at what I'm doing, and I'm like, okay, wow, I can improve. I can work on that. Say less. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not sitting down anymore, no matter what, unless I'm in the passenger seat of the car, because I like to stand up. I listen back to a lot of my old videos, old podcast episodes and stuff I did many, many, many moons ago. And the content, the delivery is excellent. But there's something I say right and way too much. And I don't know if you guys notice, I've been slowly pulling those out. I'm I'm comfortable with a little silence now. Whereas before, I kept using those as fillers. That's constant. That's growth. That's investing in yourself. That's a healthy relationship with yourself. That's seeing yourself as valuable. And so again, keeping your word to yourself, doing the things that you know are necessary. Let me give y'all my two questions. These are my two questions that I always ask people. I'm gonna give them to y'all free of charge. The first question: what are you not doing that would be easy for you to do? And wherever that takes you, let it take you. Make a list of things and then start doing those things. What are you not doing that would be easy for you to do? By your definition, you said it was easy. My mentor said it's easy if you can do it. But by your definition of easy, what are you not doing that would be easy for you to do? And just think about the impact of those things. Because they don't have to be ginormous, but just think about that. What am I not doing that would be easy for me to do? Okay, I'm gonna explore that right now. Creating more content. I fell in love with doing the live streams and I love doing this. I love the interaction and it aligns with my purpose and I love doing this. I love communicating. I love just allowing things to flow. I love the interaction. We're actually building some community and we're vibing out and I love doing it. But I actually stopped creating just random content. I used to just grab the phone and just share a thought. Boom, boom, boom. I get inspired. Woo, 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 woo. 32 seconds, whatever. I've been posting old stuff or clips from the live streams, which is great. But the question was, what am I not doing that would be easy for me to do? I have no issues with coming up with ideas, things to share. I read and study every day. So there's always information there. So what am I not doing that would be easy for me to do? Creating more content. Because not everyone is going to tap into a live stream. Not everyone's going to hang out with me. I'll be on here for hours sometimes, to 90 minutes. Not everyone is built like that. And that's perfectly fine. So in order for me to reach more people, I need to create more content. So y'all already know what that means because that just clicked for me. I'm going to be annoying you guys with more content because why not? So more content, at minimum 5 fresh pieces of content every day. I have the time, I have the energy, I definitely have the information. I have plenty to say. So that's one thing right there. And that's super valuable for me because literally that's how I make a living. I would like to write more and read more. Okay. And look, and what she's saying is that with mindfulness towards your craft. Yes, I would like to write more and read more. Okay. So the question, remember, was what am I not doing that would be easy for me to do? So what Teresa is basically saying is I can read and do some writing. Cool. So pick a book, right? Pick a book and start reading. And reading can be listening to audiobooks. Read whatever, however you define that. And then write down your thoughts about it. Listen to a podcast episode, start writing. Listen to this, boom, boom, boom. Just think about it, right? Go grab you a book. You heard I say it right, but I don't say it as much as I used to. In your travels, I don't know. What you doing now? I don't know. Run to Target, grab a book. Appreciate it. That always catches me off guard. I appreciate it. So you have something in your house. You have a book. Okay, read for 15 minutes or whatever the case may be. Pick something and then literally write what stood out to you or whatever flows. Just go. Because what you're doing is you want to develop the habit of reading and writing. Writing is a powerful tool. Sharing, communicating your thoughts. So go for it. Go for it. Why not? So I love it. And everyone can explore that, right? What am I not doing that would be easy for me to do? We definitely need more content in TikTok. That means something. This at be wild. See? Yeah, we need more positivity. Definitely making more content. I'm committed to my 4 days. See? Let's go. Keep that commitment. Keep your commitment to your commitments. There it is. So, and these are things that we've identified as easy. And then here's my other question. What am I doing that's not in my own best interest? What are some daily habits I have that are not in my own best interest? I hit the snooze button too many times. I this, I that. And these are questions that if we explore these questions, we literally, that's our homework. We can explore these daily, weekly. We can sit down, okay, what am I not doing that would be easy for me to do? You know what? I can do more, dot, dot, dot. I need to do dot, dot, dot. I need to read it right. I need to do more content. I made a commitment to do 4 days. Pardon me. That's my new standard. I'm going to do the 4 days. And then I'll graduate from there. Whatever the case may be. What am I doing? What habits, what rituals do I have that aren't in my own best interest? I'm spending too much time on this particular site. I'm spending too much time doing this. Maybe 7 episodes in a day is a bit much. Maybe watch 2 and then invest that time and energy somewhere else. Whatever it might be. But explore those 2 questions. What am I not doing that would be easy for me to do? And then, what am I doing that's not in my own best interest? Just think about the transformation that can come just from that. Just from those things you've identified from those simple but powerful, powerful questions. Like I'm sitting here myself, like, okay, yeah, I can definitely change some things up. The biggest one for me is creating more content. That's what I need to be doing, and that's what I'm going to do from this moment forward. And I'll explore other things as well, but obviously that was the first one that popped up. And then when I think about what am I doing that's not in my own best interest? I have to really explore that one. I have to explore that one to think about what habits, what rituals do I have that aren't in my own best interest? Maybe something big, maybe something small, but honestly, I don't really believe in big and small because what's small? There's nothing small because the whole point of this dialogue was that the importance of the small. So it could be something very small that's having a huge impact or that's taken up some space and energy that can be better invested. Maybe I'm stuck in my story a little too much. Who knows what it is? Point being, there's the willingness to explore that is going to help me to grow and become greater. So we're in control, and that's we're in control, right? We're the sum total of our decisions. We have control. We get to focus, decisions, communication, and imagination. If we really lean into those 4 superpowers, and if we really understood the power of focus, the power of decisions, the power of communication, and the power of the imagination, we're unstoppable at that point. So make your layups, y'all. It's those little things. It's those little fires that are stopping us from growing. It's not these big, ginormous things. It's really not. What does my mentor say? And if anyone has a question, throw it in there. He says that success is small daily disciplines practiced every day. Small daily disciplines practiced every day. That's essentially what I'm talking about, making those layups. Small daily disciplines practiced every day. That's what gets you to success, not some big boom moment. No, that's not. Success is small daily disciplines practiced every day, step by ferocious step, climbing, 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 climbing. That's success. And conversely, failure, right? Failure is, how does he say it? Small errors in judgment repeated every day. See, it's not these big, ginormous things. It's small errors in judgment practiced every day. Tyler Perry can work 90 scripts in 2 weeks. Exactly. Why not me? Why not you? If we lock in and commit, if we're willing to commit, if we're willing to put in that sort of effort, what can come from that? We don't know. But we do know that we're guaranteed to grow from that sort of effort and insight. We're guaranteed to grow. Just think about it. If I do this 90 times, am I not going to be a better speaker? Am I not going to be a better communicator? Am I not going to be more insightful? Because I have to be sharp to do this. See, I do this long, I stay on here all this time because it forces me to grow. It pulls more out of me. That's why sometimes you'll hear me say, "Oh, I never, oh." Things are just, what's in there is having the opportunity to come out. Once upon a time, I probably wouldn't have the courage to just vibe out like this. MLK Day of service. I might be live all day. I might just be live all day. I don't know where that just came from right now, but what if I just get up and just be live all day? Maybe take an eat break. Maybe, you know. Like if my family doesn't make any bids for attention, if I'm free, I'm going to be live, and that just came, so I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to answer questions. We're going to vibe out. I'm going to have some things to talk about. We're going to revisit some things. If it's quiet, maybe I'll just be working. Whatever the case may be. But this is how do you not get better? How do I not continue to develop myself? So if you do something, I did 21 days is a habit, 90 days is a lifestyle. So think about that. Okay. Then you have to decide, okay, what do I want? What do I want? What habits do I want to develop for the reason of creating a lifestyle? Well, let's reverse engineer. Let's start with the end in mind. Think about my lifestyle. What do I want my life to look like? I love speaking. I love teaching. I love helping people. And so doing this sort of work for me this is what I love to do. And the beautiful thing is what I share is about 10% of what I actually know. That's the beautiful thing. That's a mission of mine. So I literally can, right? I can do this nonstop. But so let's start with the end in mind, right? And I want you to do the same, but just walk with me. Okay. I want to do this for a living, essentially. Right? And I can do it in a more formatted way. I said it again, but I'm telling you, not like I used to. See, I'm conscious of it, I'm aware of it. So these are the types of things I want to do for a living. What do you mean? One to many, sharing ideas, helping people connect the dots, teaching different subjects, right? Taking concepts that can appear complicated or people will make complicated and breaking them down and making it very, very simple and applicable. So when I'm on here and I'm speaking and I'm sharing these ideas, you can apply them immediately. There's no deep philosophical woo-woo stuff going on. And even if it starts there, we break it down And when you walk away, you have something you can actually do. There's something tangible that you can activate in your life immediately. That's the goal. Because if I only ever get one interaction with you, I want you, you are 100% going to leave me better than I found you. It's impossible for us to have an interaction and you not leave slightly better off. It's impossible. And that's any human being. That's anybody. If we have an encounter, I'm going to add some value to your life. And not just in this sort of setting. If I see you, if we pass each other in the aisle in Target, I'm gonna love on you a little bit. You're gonna feel some kindness. You're gonna feel some warmth. You're gonna feel some good energy. I'm gonna speak. I'm going to smile. I'm always gonna look nice and smell nice. So you're gonna have an encounter with this kind gentleman who spoke, who was nice, who was fresh. You're gonna leave better off. That's just the truth. It's impossible. Even if you hate my guts, even if it doesn't matter. Because of who I am, you're going to leave better off. Even if you come and want to fight, even if I have to whoop you behind, you're going to leave better off. Because I'm still love on you. That's a mission. So, so when we think about, you know what I mean? When you think about, he said, 90 days is a lifestyle. 90 days is coming. What's the day? The 13th? 12th or something? 13. Yo, 24 is not playing. We at day 13 already. Y'all better come on. So he just said 21 days is a habit. We're about there, right? We'll be there this time next week. We're there. Come on, let's go. What habit have you developed that and it's okay if you're starting today because 21 starts from here too. But think about that. So 90 days from now, I can be in a completely different place if I'm willing to do what? Do the small things every day. I like that. I like that. A layup. I love that. Yo, I love it. I love it. But think about that. So if we concentrate our time, appreciate you, family, our time, energy, and effort into making our layups, into developing ourselves, right? Into moving ourselves from where we are to where we want to be. If we project out 90 days and think about and imagine the lifestyle that we want, how we want to look, how we want to feel, what we want our days to consist of, and then we invest our energy into the moment to moment decisions that it takes to get me from where I am to where I want to be, right? What are the habits I need to develop so that I can transform my identity so that I can live that lifestyle just think about that. And the beautiful thing about this is applicable to every human. All of us can do that. Repetition, exactly. And that word, that is where so many of us lose it. Repetition, especially you're moving along and at first maybe you're excited, you got some people clapping for you, and then you're moving along and they ain't clapping no more. And you're moving along and you're doing the thing and you're like, okay, no one's clapping. The magical moment hasn't happened quite yet. And you go through that goofy season, and if we just push through that season, we can get to the 21 and then get to the lifestyle change. Because what we're doing in that, it's an identity shift. It's an identity shift. That's what this is. It's an identity shift, right? It's an identity shift. So this version of me, I'm here, I'm good. But 90 days, my bro said, it's a lifestyle. I want to totally different. I want these particular habits to become my lifestyle. Okay. So now I have to see it through. I have to see it through. And then we have to go through that funny phase, right? Like when my sons, they have the locks. And they went through that goofy early phase when it's a little funny fro and it's the wavy spot and it's the curly spot and it's the nappy spot and it's the goofy and it's just like do I cut it? Do I keep going? Do I cut it? It's like, no, grind it out. Just keep going. And now their hair is long and they're doing all the things. But ladies, y'all know, those of you that went natural and you cut it and there's that little phase when you got the little Shirley bush and it's just like, but you got to see it through. And then now it's beautiful. But that 6 weeks of was rough. Ooh, look at you. That's what this book is about. Focus, decisions, communication, and imagination. Literally, that's what this is about. The power of me, becoming your own superhero. And that's what this book breaks down. And there's journal writing in there, all the things. But think about it. Let me see what y'all talking about over here. This ain't for y'all. Exactly. We have to do exactly. Yeah, this is an identity thing. Thank you for throwing those up there. Those are the superpowers. And those will get us from where we are to where we are. Those are applicable to any and every situation. Literally, any and every situation. So any challenge you're facing, if you just think about those things, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, what am I focusing on here? Because if I'm telling myself a goofy story, what am I focusing on? And then that, appreciate you. Okay. And then decisions. Okay. I'm a quality decision maker. I'm responsible. I'm the sum total of my decisions. Okay. So I need to, what are my options? Because I need to see what I'm saying? Then it's communication. Communication, well, that's a lot of how I need to communicate with me in a healthy manner. I need to encourage me. I need to inspire me. I need to motivate me. I need to push me. I need to remind me of who I am. I need to communicate with me that I have other options, that the focus and decision. Then my imagination. Why am I imagining doom and gloom? Why am I painting myself as a victim in my own story when I'm the hero of my story? And so those things, when we master those, literally any test, trial, or any moment that we're in, we're tapping into those and we're doing it anyway. See, that's the piece. We're doing it anyway. We're focusing, we're making decisions, we're communicating, and we're using our imagination anyway, every moment. So when we master those, when we use them as our tools and when we change our relationship with them, that's why I call them our superpowers. Because we're literally, right now, you're using each of those right now. We all are, literally right now. Let me tell y'all, this fan is trying to drive me crazy. It's just right there in the background. And I don't know why my brain can't remember that that's my fan. But it keeps, every time it kind of catches me, I've had, what the heck is that? I've had that about 10 times since I've been speaking to you guys. It's just so funny. But just thinking about that, right? I'm locked in, I'm focused, I'm sharing, but sometimes I've had like 10 of those moments. And the same thing. She said, I don't need the claps. Watch this clap. Exactly. And that's the energy, that's the attitude that we have to keep. And we have to keep it all the way through. We have to keep it all the way through. And that's why it's important who we surround ourselves with. But more importantly, it's important how and what we communicate to and with ourselves. It's important to develop a relationship with ourselves where we have that type of inner conversation. Where when it gets tight, we scream that out loud. And we show up and we push through anyway. Because I'm not doing it for the class. I'm talking about a lifestyle change. I'm talking about what can I do? I got some places I want to go, some things I'm I want to transform my life. So, clap or not, I'm going anyway. And I have every intention on being here in 90 days. So why not commit myself to showing up as a better person, to transforming my lifestyle? See, everything I talk about is about personal responsibility and it's personally empowering. Notice that, right? It's never about, I'm never trying to create disciples. I'm trying to encourage people to go be awesome. And that's very, very intentional. That's very, very intentional because I've had people try to hang on to my way, and it's like, no. I'm telling you to go. You have it in you already. I'm just here to remind you of who you are. I'm just here to hold up the mirror and be like, yo, you're Mina. You forgot? You forgot you were Mina? Like, what? That's my responsibility to remind you who you, and encourage you and push you a little bit, just to get you back on track a little bit. But it's all rooted in personal responsibility. It's all rooted in things you can do right now, immediately. There's nothing I'm saying that's so deep and so where you need to go up in the mountains for 6 months and then come back and then you can. No, you can literally begin to transform your life right now if you grab some of these things that I just throw out all the time, because you already have the things in you and it's connecting with something on the inside of you. And if we would just go ahead and step forward and apply the things, we become unstoppable. I keep saying that. When we're intentional, we're unstoppable. So now I'm thinking about how I'm going to intentionally transform my lifestyle over the course of this next 90 days. I'm already moving at a really good pace, but I don't even know, fam, when you put that in there, that did something for me. Thank you. 21 days, habit, 90 days. Like that word lifestyle, I like that. I like, because I use identity, but I like lifestyle. I like that. Especially because of some of the things that I'm working toward. I keep telling you, I need some palm trees. My folks hit us up today. Let me read your text. Let me tell y'all. We got some folks, they live out in Oceanside, Cali. Basically, it's a suburb of, Mina knows, a suburb of San Diego. So we got this group chat, SoCal fam chat. And, they hit us up, hey, Happy New Year, how's everything? Whoop-de-whoop. I responded, we're doing great. Hope y'all doing well. Enjoying this 65-degree weather. When are y'all coming back? Ooh, that gave me so much inspiration. I said, oh, thank you, sis. And now, fam, talking about lifestyle change. That's a problem that I'm working to solve, right? I need that in my life. And I got my folks out there. Let me tell you what messed me up one day. When I say messed me up, inspired the heck out of me. My man posts one random Sunday, they out chilling on a boat. Guess what they was doing, y'all? They was out whale watching. What? Yo, they weren't on vacation or nothing. They was around their way. A few minutes from their crib, they just hanging out, went there, let's go whale watching. Excuse me? I'm from North Philly, you what watching? What? Yo, I'm excited. I want on a random Sunday to just go whale watching. Whale what? They have whale watching excursions, so why can't I go? They build houses, I keep telling y'all that. So how am I going to get there? I want to focus on the habits and rituals. I'm going to make my layups. I'm going to constantly explore the question of what am I not doing that would be easy for me to do? I'm going to explore the question of what am I doing that's not in my own best interest? I'm going to make my layups. I'm going to continue to invest in myself. I'm going to continue to dream big. And not only dream big, but I'm going to continue to walk in personal integrity, think, speak, and act in a manner, right, that's in alignment with those dreams. I'm going to every day take steps toward those dreams. Every day. Bro said 90 days of life. What? That spoke to me. Thank you. I don't even know if you're still on here, family, but thank you. That I don't know why that word hit me. Lifestyle. And see, here's something, right? You have to have an open, welcoming spirit. See, that was able to land. Some things are able to land with you all because you're open, because you're searching, because you're on a mission already and things are connecting. Boop, boop, boop. You see what I'm saying? Look at that. I'm getting up at 4 a.m. tomorrow and Monday. I love it. I love it. Setting things in order, setting some things in motion. And here's the thing. If she just gets up and just kind of stretches and has prayer and go back to sleep at 4:15. She got up at 4 a.m., kept her word to herself. Maybe she gets up and maybe she's, writes down what she's grateful for. Maybe she starts to plan out these next 90 days. But, imagine the possibilities that exist. Whatever it is, but when you declare it, you're putting it out there, and then you actually do it, you keep your word to yourself. Now you see yourself as the type of person who keeps her promises, is trustworthy just by getting up. Yes. I'm telling you, y'all, we have the power. Yo, they was out whale watching on a random Sunday. I love it. Yo, they weren't on vacation. They just went out whale watching. What? I'm telling y'all, we getting there. I'm getting there. I love it. And then my photos widget constantly reminds me of my SoCal trips. Look at this. I open it up. What's the first thing? That's me in La Jolla. Me to know about La Jolla, hanging out with the seals and the sea lions and stuff, just chilling. And that's just what they do on a regular day. That's just, it's me and the missus in the drop. We had the convertible riding around SoCal. Y'all see those palm trees in the back? I'm getting there. Y'all think I'm playing? Oh man. Listen, I didn't live there, but I love visiting, and I'm about to get back out there. Yeah, the last time we went, we had the convertible. We riding around just, oh man, beautiful. Let me come back to my folks. But yo, yeah, I'm getting there. That's a mission of mine. Why not? Yo, listen, that's all right. I'm gonna be live right from La Jolla. Y'all gonna see the sea lions in the background. Cause I'm gonna be out there standing on that rock with this puppy right here. Like, yo, well, I might have this puppy on a rock. This is on grip stuff, right? I might have this thing sitting somewhere, and I might just have my wife and my son being my camera person. But y'all gonna get these sea lions in the back. Yo, I'm on a mission. Lifestyle? Anyway, anybody have any questions I can answer before I bail? Oh man, this was fun. I appreciate y'all. Come on, y'all. Let's make our layups, man. It's actually simple. Notice we haven't said. Notice all of this information that went forward. How simple it is. Very, very simple. Nothing complicated. Nothing that requires you to. Very, very simple. Life is very, very simple. We complicate things. But if we start mastering these superpowers, we'll start complicating things less and less and less. And then I would say sky's the limit, but there is no limit. Exactly. Dedication to thank you, sis. That's what it takes. One of the things I was saying earlier in the year, right? Is earlier in the year, it's January 13th, but y'all know what I mean. Make a commitment to keep your commitments to your commitments. And that sounds heavy, But no, keep your word to yourself. Be on your own side. The language I use is so simple. Be on your own side. Be a friend to yourself. Be team you. That's all. That's all. If you do that, and you set your intention, right? You decide what it is you want, and you focus on personal integrity, your thoughts, words, and actions being in alignment. See, that's big for me. I'm not one that just be talking and not living it. Not at all. Not at all. Ask anyone that knows me, and I'll let y'all know the people that actually know me when some of them pop on here. People that have engaged with me for years and at live events, and hell, a couple of the people that pop on here have been to my house. I live this stuff fully. Far from perfect. Please, that's not even a desire of mine. But I walk in integrity. My thoughts, words, and actions are in alignment. So I'm not only talking about doing a thing or being someone that I'm not. I do this. And that's possible for all of us. There's nothing special about me except I'm committed. Well, no, that's a lie. There's a lot of stuff special about me. But there's plenty that's special about you too. Dedication to us. Think about that. Everyone, if you define that for yourself and you concentrate your energy on embodying that, you won. You won. Think about that. You won. You're a part of keeping me accountable. I love the accountability. I love the push. I love the sisterhood. I love the support. Oh, and trust me, I'm on your head too. You already know I done already hit you up, ma'am. What's happening here? Where's the content? All right, well, I don't see no questions, so I'm about to go text my folks back, talk a little trash to my SoCal fam. They stunting out there in 60 degrees and it's freezing down here in Georgia. I'm like, shoot, I might as well be in Philly, cold as it was today. But anywho, come on, y'all. We're taking our lives to the next level, y'all. How's Bezos say it? Step by ferocious step. Step by ferocious step. Every step matters. Every thought matters. Every word matters. Every action matters. Make sure that those thoughts, words, and actions are in alignment with moving you from where you are to where you want to be. I'm focused on transforming my lifestyle. I'm running with that word. I like that. So simple, but that hit home for me. Tomorrow my video goes up to, okay, I love it. Let's go. I love it. Anyway, I need to dash. I will definitely be on tomorrow morning at some time. I don't know what time yet. I actually have a coaching call on a Sunday. This person is a little special. I broke my rule, but she's definitely worth a little rule adjustment. But yeah, so we'll be talking about some things. Yeah, man, we're here, and as you guys know, whatever support you guys need, I'm here. Use me, tap in. Yeah, football Sunday. There's a game on right now, as a matter of fact. I see what's going on with that game. It's almost -20. Sheesh. That's serious business there. But anywho, it's time to dash. Y'all done kept me on here for a very long time. Mr. Cook, what's popping? We're about to dash, good brother. Thanks for tapping in, though. Appreciate the support, man. Thank you. It means the world. Thank you. Thank all of you for your support. Listen, tomorrow we'll be on and we'll vibe out. Whatever God drops in my spirit, we'll just vibe out. And I'm always open to answer questions, and wherever the conversation goes, it goes. Y'all know the drill. As long as we keep it positive. Indeed, you got it. Looking forward to hear back from Teresa with her new reading and writing habit. Teresa, you've been on it. She said she was going to hit the bike and get the miles in. What did she do? Hit the bike and got the miles in. Now she's going to start that reading habit. Lifestyle about to transform. Anyway, good peoples, y'all have a great evening. I'm about to tap out. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. You write poetry. Look, I was about to hit the button and I saw that. Oh yeah, I can't wait. I need to see some of this poetry. Oh yeah. All right, let me go. Good night, y'all. Appreciate y'all.